On a seemingly ordinary day, a young athlete's life was tragically cut short, leaving a community in shock. How could a bright future turn into a dark mystery? Join us as we unravel the devastating truth behind this heartbreaking case. Meet Jordan, a talented 17-year-old basketball star known for his infectious smile and determination. Hailing from a small town, he was adored by friends and family, dreaming of a professional career ahead. But on March 12th, everything changed. As the sun set, Jordan was found unresponsive in his home, sparking immediate concern among his loved ones. What happened that fateful evening? The emergency call was made, but it was too late. Despite efforts to resuscitate him, Jordan was pronounced dead at the hospital. The news sent shockwaves through the community. As the investigation began, authorities were baffled. There were no signs of foul play, leaving family and friends desperate for answers. What could have led to such a tragic event? Jordan's friends recalled the last moments they spent together, filled with laughter and plans for the future. No one could have predicted the tragedy that loomed just hours away. As rumors spread, speculation heightened. Some believed it was an accident, others pointed to potential health issues. The truth was elusive, leaving many to wonder. Weeks passed, and finally, an autopsy report was released. The cause of death was listed as cardiac arrest, but the underlying reasons remained a mystery. What triggered this sudden event? The report revealed that Jordan had an undiagnosed heart condition, inherited but never detected. It was a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities even the strongest athletes face. In the wake of his death, Jordan's family launched a campaign to raise awareness about heart health in young athletes. They aimed to prevent similar tragedies from occurring. The community rallied behind them, organizing events and fundraisers to support screening programs. Jordan's legacy transformed from a tragic loss into a beacon of hope. Though Jordan's life was cut short, his story sparked a movement. Schools began implementing heart screenings for student athletes, ensuring that no one else would face the same fate. Jordan's parents often reflect on their son's impact, grateful that his story has the potential to save lives. They remind others that health checks can be a matter of life and death. As we remember Jordan, his story serves as a powerful reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of health awareness. Are we doing enough to protect our future athletes? This tragedy is not just a story. It's a call to action. Let's honor Jordan's legacy by prioritizing health checks and ensuring the safety of our young athletes. Will you join the movement? In the wake of Jordan's passing, his high school community was left shattered. Students and faculty members mourned the loss, gathering to remember his vibrant spirit. Tributes poured in from all corners, igniting a movement focused on athlete health and safety. The local sports community rallied to honor Jordan's memory. They organized charity events and awareness campaigns, highlighting the importance of regular health screenings for young athletes. Parents and coaches joined the fight to ensure such tragedies wouldn't repeat. A poignant moment came when Jordan's teammates took to the field wearing jerseys adorned with his name. Their emotional tribute symbolized unity and determination to advocate for change in honor of their fallen friend. News of Jordan's story spread beyond the town, capturing the attention of national media. Discussions surrounding athlete health and safety became more prominent, with experts questioning existing protocols for monitoring young athletes' health. In response to the growing concern, a coalition of parents, athletes, and medical professionals formed. Their mission was clear: to advocate for mandatory health screenings and improve safety measures in youth sports across the nation. As debates intensified, some schools began implementing new health policies. These included mandatory physical exams and cardiac screenings for all athletes, ensuring that Jordan's legacy would lead to substantial change in the system. However, the journey was not without resistance. Some schools hesitated due to budget constraints and the perceived burden of additional health requirements on their athletic programs. In the midst of this turmoil, Jordan's family became outspoken advocates. They shared their experiences and pushed for legislative changes, seeking justice not only for their son, but for all young athletes who deserve better protection. The family's efforts culminated in a powerful documentary that chronicled Jordan's journey and the subsequent fight for athlete safety. They aimed to raise awareness and inspire change at a national level. As the documentary gained traction, it sparked conversations in schools across the country. Students began to engage in discussions about health, wellness, and the importance of advocating for their own safety in sports. Meanwhile, medical researchers began to study the long-term effects of sports injuries on young athletes. Their findings aimed to shed light on the risks associated with youth sports, emphasizing the need for preventive measures. In a surprising turn, a major sports organization took notice of Jordan's story. They pledged to incorporate new safety initiatives, setting a precedent for other organizations to follow in protecting young athletes. As awareness continued to grow, several states introduced legislation aimed at improving athlete safety. Parents, encouraged by Jordan's story, rallied together to support these vital changes, pushing for a safer sports environment. Despite the legislative battles, the ripple effects of Jordan's story were undeniable. Other young athletes began to advocate for their own health, demanding regular checkups and safety measures from their coaches. The media coverage of Jordan's story also led to a spike in donations towards sports health initiatives. Organizations focused on athlete wellness saw an influx of support as the community united in Jordan's memory. As the movement grew, testimonies from other families who faced similar tragedies emerged. Their stories echoed the need for systemic change, amplifying the call for better health protocols in youth sports. New partnerships formed between schools and healthcare providers to ensure student athletes received comprehensive health evaluations. This collaboration marked a significant step forward in prioritizing athlete well-being. Jordan's story inspired new educational programs in schools, teaching students about the risks of sports and the importance of health checks. This initiative aimed to foster a culture of safety among young athletes. As these changes took root, the conversation about mental health in sports became equally vital. Coaches began addressing not just physical health, but also the emotional well-being of their athletes. Jordan's legacy continued to inspire not only changes in health policies, but also fostered a deeper understanding of the pressures young athletes face. It opened the door for discussions surrounding mental resilience and support. In schools across the nation, athletes began forming groups to support each other and promote health awareness. These peer-led initiatives shifted the landscape of youth sports, giving athletes a stronger voice. With each new initiative, the community expanded its network, bringing in mental health professionals to work alongside coaches and trainers. This collaborative effort aimed to create a holistic approach to athlete safety. As Jordan's story continued to influence regulations, lawmakers took notice. Bills aimed at enhancing youth sports safety gained momentum, reflecting the voices of those advocating for change. The ongoing advocacy efforts culminated in a national conference on athlete health, where experts, athletes, and families gathered to share insights and strategies for future safety improvements. During the conference, notable speakers highlighted the importance of preventative measures and shared success stories from schools that had implemented their recommendations. Hope was ignited for widespread change. As the momentum grew, funding for athlete health initiatives surged, allowing for more comprehensive programs to be developed. Communities began investing in resources that prioritized young athletes' health. While progress was being made, challenges still existed. Some schools lacked the financial means to implement new safety protocols, leading to a call for further support and advocacy. In an inspiring twist, some athletes began sharing their own health stories on social media, creating a wave of awareness among their peers. This grassroots movement empowered young people to take their health into their own hands. As the community continued to evolve, sports organizations began to adopt best practices from successful schools. The sharing of resources and strategies led to better outcomes for young athletes nationwide. The culmination of these efforts fostered a lasting legacy for Jordan, one that transcended his story. His name became synonymous with the movement for athlete safety, inspiring future generations to prioritize their health. As we reflect on Jordan's story, we are reminded of the collective power of community and advocacy. His tragic death sparked a movement that continues to grow, urging us to keep the conversation alive. How can we further contribute to this vital cause? In the wake of Jordan's passing, his family turned their grief into action. They began reaching out to local lawmakers, sharing their story in hopes of sparking a change in youth sports regulations. Their mission was clear: prevent other families from experiencing similar heartache. Jordan's parents collaborated with sports organizations to create mandatory safety protocols for athletes. They emphasized the importance of health screenings and proper training for coaches, aiming to ensure that no athlete's safety was compromised again. As their efforts gained traction, they launched a campaign called Play Safe, Live Strong. This movement aimed to educate athletes and parents about the signs of heat exhaustion and other preventable conditions that could lead to tragedy. The campaign quickly went viral, drawing attention from national media outlets. Stories of Jordan's legacy spread, inspiring other families to share their experiences and advocate for change in their own communities. In schools across the country, Play Safe, Live Strong workshops were held. Coaches, parents, and young athletes participated in these sessions, learning how to identify symptoms of heat-related illnesses and the importance of hydration. Jordan's story prompted several states to consider new legislation regarding athlete safety. Lawmakers debated implementing stricter regulations for physical exams and emergency plans during practices and games. As more states adopted these measures, families began to feel a sense of hope. They realized that the conversation surrounding athletes' safety was finally gaining the attention it deserved. Amidst this progress, Jordan's parents faced skepticism from some within the sports community. Critics questioned whether such changes were necessary or if they would alter the spirit of competition. Despite the pushback, Jordan's parents remained steadfast. They shared statistical data highlighting the dangers faced by young athletes and emphasized that safety and competition could coexist harmoniously. In memory of Jordan, a scholarship was established to support young athletes pursuing careers in sports medicine. This initiative aimed to inspire the next generation of healthcare professionals dedicated to athlete safety. The scholarship began receiving applications from student athletes nationwide, each sharing their dreams and aspirations. Jordan's name became a beacon of hope, encouraging students to prioritize health in their athletic journeys. Jordan's impact extended beyond scholarships. It inspired the creation of Safe Sports Alliance. This organization united parents, coaches, and medical professionals to advocate for athletes' safety across the nation. With the Safe Sports Alliance gaining momentum, more educational resources became available for schools. Workshops and seminars helped equip coaches with knowledge on handling potential emergencies during practices and games. As the movement expanded, parents began advocating for similar changes in sports leagues within their communities. They organized rallies, demanding attention from league officials to prioritize athlete safety. Through these efforts, Jordan's name became synonymous with a national dialogue. Media outlets frequently highlighted his story as a turning point for athlete advocacy, inspiring countless individuals to take action. Even professional athletes began to join the conversation, using their platforms to raise awareness about athlete safety. They shared personal experiences and expressed support for the initiatives inspired by Jordan's tragic story. To honor Jordan's memory, many schools held annual Play Safe Days, promoting safety awareness through fun and engaging activities. Students learned vital skills while celebrating the legacy of a young athlete. The push for change culminated in a major national conference on athlete safety. Advocates, experts, and families gathered to discuss advancements and share personal stories, creating a powerful sense of community. Throughout the conference, Jordan's parents shared their experiences, igniting passionate discussions. Their heartfelt testimonies resonated deeply, motivating others to share their own stories of loss and hope. The conference resulted in a comprehensive report outlining key proposals for improving athlete safety nationwide. These recommendations would go on to influence policies and practices in various sports organizations. As the movement grew, support from parents and athletes continued to pour in. Social media became a powerful tool for raising awareness, allowing stories like Jordan's to reach millions of people around the globe. Schools began integrating athlete safety training into their curriculums, ensuring that young athletes were educated on how to advocate for themselves and recognize potential health risks. As awareness of athlete safety continued to rise, sports brands and organizations began incorporating safety messages into their marketing campaigns. These initiatives aim to normalize the conversation around health in sports. Jordan's story became a case study in sports management programs across universities, teaching future leaders about the importance of athlete safety and the impact of advocacy. The movement led to the formation of student-led safety committees in various schools. These groups empowered students to take an active role in promoting health and safety within their sporting environments. As Jordan's legacy continued to grow, a documentary was produced to chronicle the impact of his story. It featured interviews with his family, friends, and advocates, sharing their insights on the ongoing fight for athlete safety. The documentary premiered at film festivals, stirring emotions among audiences and shedding light on the importance of the cause. It became a catalyst for further discussions and raised funds for athlete safety initiatives. As conversations surrounding athlete safety expanded, the sports community began to embrace a culture of transparency. Organizations started sharing information on health risks and safety practices openly with the public. Jordan's tragedy sparked a renewed focus on mental health within sports. Advocates began pushing for resources to support athletes dealing with the pressure of competition and the emotional toll of injuries. With the rise of mental health awareness, leagues started incorporating mental health screenings alongside physical exams. This dual approach aimed to foster a more holistic view of athlete well-being. As Jordan's story continued to resonate, new partnerships formed between educational institutions and sports organizations. Together, they aimed to provide comprehensive safety training and resources for young athletes. Jordan's message spread internationally, inspiring advocacy efforts beyond the borders of the United States. Other countries began adopting similar safety measures and raising awareness about athlete welfare. In an effort to honor Jordan's legacy, a memorial tournament was established, bringing together athletes from different regions to compete while promoting safety and health awareness in sports. This tournament became an annual event, growing in size and impact each year. It served as a reminder of the ongoing commitment to athlete safety, uniting athletes in a cause greater than themselves. In the wake of these changes, families began to feel more empowered. They became advocates for their children, ensuring that safety protocols were followed in their respective leagues and schools. As awareness and advocacy continued, Jordan's name was etched into the hearts of many. Schools and sports teams began dedicating games and events to his memory, celebrating his impact on athlete safety. With every news story shared, Jordan's legacy grew. More athletes began to recognize the importance of advocating for their safety, creating a culture of accountability within sports. As we approach the next chapter in this movement, Jordan's story continues to serve as a guiding light. The advocacy efforts surrounding athlete safety have evolved into a powerful movement that transcends individual stories. With every voice that joins the movement, a promise is made. A promise to prioritize the safety and well-being of every athlete, ensuring that their stories are never forgotten and that their voices are always heard. In remembrance of Jordan, the dialogue surrounding athlete safety will persist. His legacy will continue to inspire action, ensuring that the fight for change remains at the forefront of sports culture. As we reflect on the strides made, we must also acknowledge the work that still lies ahead. The commitment to athlete safety cannot falter, and each of us has a role to play in preserving Jordan's legacy. With every story, every initiative, and every voice, the movement grows stronger. Jordan's tragic story is not just a reminder of what was lost, but a beacon of hope for what is possible. As we continue to share Jordan's story, we invite you to be part of this vital conversation. Join the movement, advocate for athlete safety, and help us honor Jordan's legacy together. In closing, remember that every action, no matter how small, contributes to a larger purpose. Let's work together to ensure that athlete safety remains a priority and that no other family has to endure the pain of loss. Together, we can build a safer future for athletes everywhere. Thank you for joining us in this important conversation. Let's keep Jordan's spirit alive through our actions and advocacy.